I'd love to talk about why Coombsville is special. Community, quality.
For those who don't know it, Coombsville, the Coombsville AVA is east of the city of Napa, and it's an incredible AVA. Fabulous wines being made here, and I'm in Coombsville today with Lisa Redmon. She is the owner of Redmon Wines. Lisa, how you doing?
I'm doing great today.
Good. I'm glad you are. It's a little chilly today, a little rainy, typical weather in February in Napa, but I guess that's what's going to happen.
Every year we go through this rainy time.
What's nice and interesting to see for those people who've been to Napa in the past, it's so green. I mean, you've got this kind of Ireland thing going on right now, especially here in Coombsville, because the properties here are just more soft, rolling, and really polite. It's very nice.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you that throughout the year, we get different colors of green. And so during the winter and the early spring is always my favorite because it's that beautiful light green to it, kind of a pale colored green versus the darker green we get later in the season on the leaves. Yeah.
Well, and I should point out to people listening, we are in kind of mid-February at this point, and in the year 2026, I'm here for Premier Napa Valley primarily, but also here for the Coombsville AVA. Before we get into talking about that, I want to talk about you and your background in wine, and as I always like to ask people, when did wine choose you? How did that happen in your life?
Well, I sort of fell into the wine business. My family, the Redmons, which was my dad and my brothers and I, we came to the Napa Valley in 1976, which was the year of the Paris tasting, if y'all know what that is. And so I'd like to say we were here before it was Disneyland for adults. We were here when it was just a farm community, smaller farm community, and turned into Disneyland for adults over the years. So I've watched it grow. We were in the A&W root beer business, and that's what my family did. We were all very hard workers, and so we came up to the town of St. Helena to buy the A&W restaurant in 1976, and we all worked there, including me. I was right across from the high school, so I would work and help all the kids that came over for the lunch hour to get their lunches and all that. That's probably where I learned my work ethic in my life, was working there with my father. But my dad was the kind of guy that took every dime he made from that restaurant and he started investing in real estate over those early years, in the early 80s and 70s. And he bought a lot of things over the years, apartments and houses and etc. And one of the things he bought was a vineyard as a foreclosure. And so that vineyard is what gave me my start. I had gone away to college after high school and worked in tech for 13 years in technology. And when the dot-com crashed, I came home with my tail between my legs and took notice of that vineyard and started some wine in my garage for fun.
Really?
Had entered some contests in those early years and got some home winemaking awards for my vineyard, and that's what actually got me started doing it. Was that vineyard.
When you started making wine in your garage, I mean, was this something you studied? Did you just kind of go by the shoot from the hip, or what?
No. If you ever come to see me, you'll see that I have a step-by-step book. I have the original bucket that we use to make the wine and all the equipment. So it was really just a hobby. It was just something fun that I thought I could do. And so that's how it all started. I bought my St. Helena property. We had it probably 1982.
Okay, so you're still ahead of the curve. I mean, by then, people are just waking up to what the whole tasting was all about from 76.
Yeah, that's right.
Where were you from originally?
Always the Bay Area.
Okay.
So we, as a kid, I moved where the A&W restaurants were. Okay. And so we were at the time in Concord and Walnut Creek area. We didn't own that many at the same time, but yeah, we did hop around and operate, and then grow the business and then sell the business.
Oh, okay. So the family's not part of it anymore.
No.
Okay.
We're done now.
So when you started doing this, I mean, you had no really thought of making it a profession, is that right?
No. I never aspired to be in the wine business. I mean, I grew up here. I had all the major names in my high school the children of the other wineries that I went to high school with. So I was familiar with all that and what their parents did, and I knew I was surrounded by beauty, the grapevines, and I also knew wherever I went in the world, people always knew St. Helena, which is this little town I was from, and they knew that because of the wine industry. So that's all I really knew. But we were in the root beer business. We weren't in the wine business, and so we had a really a little different way of being in the Napa Valley. So when I started this from my garage at first, it wasn't something that I ever thought I would fall into, but I did. And I remember back then what I had to do was first find a place to crush my grapes. And so I went to Cardinal Winery, and that's who I use for my crush today, so I'm very lucky to have that relationship. Then I had to go out and find other vineyards than my own. So at that time, I had one vineyard in St. Helena, and I made a beautiful Cabernet right on the valley floor, kind of on the bench close to the mountains, so really beautiful Cabernet. But I wanted a portfolio of different wines, so I went out to Carneros for my Chardonnay, Rutherford for a Cabernet blend that I produce, Mount Veeder, 1,600 feet up in elevation, and then Coombsville was the last that I added. So, and that's where we are today.
Was there anything specific that attracted you to Coombsville?
Yes, it fit in my portfolio really well. So I had a mountain cab, I had this old vine St. Helena cab, and I wanted something that had those characteristics like Coombsville did. So first of all, growing up here, I've been here for 45 years, and Coombsville wasn't a thing. Everybody thought it was too cold to grow grapes out here.
Interesting. So
it wasn't a name that I heard a lot, but then it started making a name for itself, and the characteristics that come out of Coombsville, which is, some of this minerality, those gentle tannins, just a very fresh, clean style to the wine. And so that's what drew me to it.
What do you think makes Coombsville wine special?
We're the last grapes to be picked as
Really?
far as Cabernet, yes. So Coombsville is shaped like a half moon. And we're real close to the bay, the San Pablo Bay. And so the way it works is that San Pablo Bay fog moves into that little, it looks like a horseshoe or a half moon, and it sits. And it sits longer than what happens up valley. So the fog kind of moves back from up valley, but stays in this little horseshoe until the end. And so that's why we get this the tannin style that we have, and some of the things that makes our wine special because of that coolness.
For the wine, how many cases are you making, just so I have that down?
Yeah, small production, somewhere usually between 1,000 and 1,200 cases a year.
Okay, that's nice. Now, are you still making them at another winery, another custom
Nope,
crush?
still doing my same thing I've been doing since the beginning.
At Cardinal?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Great. So you clearly love this area, and you live here, and just looking out the window, it's like, yeah, it's not a bad place to live. This would be a passionate love to be in a place like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Obviously, right now, these days in the industry, there are challenges, as there always are in the wine business for those people out there who think that there are no challenges any time, it seems. What do you see is the main issue in the industry in terms of why this little downturn we're going through?
Well, we have a lot of different things happening at once, but the big thing that's happening here is the decrease in alcohol consumption as a planet, not just our country, right?
Right.
And so that is something I haven't seen before in this industry. In the years I've been, the 45 years I've lived in Napa, the 25 years I've had my own brand, this is something new to me that I haven't seen yet. Here's what I know, and I like to communicate, is I think Napa is very resilient. We've seen fires, we've seen drought, we've seen all kinds of things, and Napa is quality. Napa is community. Napa is, we entertain, we're some of the best entertainers in the world when you come to see us. Our hospitality, what we do, I always like to think of it as, we have top quality terroir here. We have the soils, we have the weather, we have the topography, we have everything that makes a really good bottle of wine. And so everything that we do, we try to match that quality. And that's not going to go away.
But if you were to have the opportunity to change something in the industry, not Napa, but in the industry in general, what would you change?
Sometimes the snobbery around it. So I think that people should be able to visit and feel comfortable to ask questions, because sometimes wine is intimidating to talk about. And I don't know when that started or why that started, but I have a policy of, this is your chance. You got the owner of a wine brand in front of you, and ask any questions you want. And I have a real passion for helping people understand why they like certain wines, why they like certain regions, and asking whatever questions they need to do to understand that.
Well, most importantly for our listeners who would like to learn about you as well as your wines, how would they do that online? What's your website?
So my website is redmonwines.com, and it's REDMON wines, WINES.com. But if you're really excited to talk to me, pick up the phone. My phone number is on the website, and I'm always here to talk wine.
And that's the coolest thing, that you will talk to people personally. I think that's incredible. Very good. Well, Lisa, this has been a real pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much for giving me your time today. I appreciate it.
Welcome. Thank you.